what would you say to those who are just kind of overly critiquing the film at this point? You've worked so hard on it.
I'm getting on across. Hold on. Here. Yeah, hold on.
All right. Congrats, Rachel.
Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
The producers, far left-wing activists in Hollywood, are turning on her, and Disney has canceled all of Rachel Zegler's appearances on their media platforms. Kind of tough.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
You know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe
no one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
And if you disagree with this sentiment,
I truly do believe that there's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about. But the reality is, she's just not stable.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad. She only made less than $1 million in China.
Rachel Zegler was supposed to be Disney's next fairy tale icon. Instead, just weeks after Snow White face planted at the box office, it's being said that the 23-year-old star slipped out of Los Angeles under the cover of night, boarded a Gulfstream, and landed in Dubai, a city famous for discreet luxury and even more discreet lawyers. Since then, her feeds have gone dark, her interviews have been canceled, and her publicist keeps repeating a single line: Rachel is taking time to rest. Viewers, insiders, and angry Disney shareholders all rewind the same question. Rest from what? An ordinary press tour? Or a megaton legal fight we haven't seen yet? Her silence is louder than any red carpet soundbite, and the timing utterly radioactive, but it don't stop there.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable. There's some clip of her on the internet in her Snow White outfit saying, every hour I am in the outfit of Snow White wearing the dress. All 18 hours, I deserve to be paid for every single one. Oh, really? Are you having trouble paying your bills, Rachel? Did Steven Spielberg not pay you for your role in West Side Story? Did Disney fail to give you a healthy paycheck for, cry me a river? She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
Whenever Rachel opens her mouth, a fresh corner of the internet groans. Remember that clip of her backstage in the sparkling Snow White gown? She sighed and announced, if I'm stuck in this dress 18 hours a day, I deserve to be paid for every single hour. The eye rolls reached from Anaheim to Antwerp. Commenters pointed out she'd already banked a handsome check from West Side Story and a princely Disney salary. Crying broke while strutting down a couture runway is, well, a tough sell.
I'm gonna stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess. I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
When the remake finally opened on March 21st, even the most skeptical analysts didn't predict a wipeout this brutal. Snow White cost roughly $250 million before marketing. Opening weekend, about $45 million domestic. Worse, receipts nosedived nearly 70% in week 2, a fall that screams audience rejection, not simple competition. Industry trackers now peg Disney's loss anywhere from $115 million to a staggering $200 million once global prints, ads, and profit participation kick in.
I mean, they're projected to lose between $200 and $400 million on this.
The thing that really shocks me about this story, Disney and all these media companies, they invest hundreds of millions of dollars into these projects, right? Have they ever thought about maybe like a little bit of vulnerability study, opposition research, that sort of thing before you go and hire some Zoomer who's a lunatic?
Inside Disney's gates, executives were already scrambling. Insiders whisper the studio called an emergency summit, crisis PR consultants, color-coded spreadsheets, the works, to gauge just how much Rachel's sound bites had torpedoed a $200 million remake. Terms like morality clause and bonus clawback riddled the agenda. When rumors spread that the studio might actually invoice her for damages, Rachel's silence grew ear-splitting.
There was an in-depth piece, like a behind-the-scenes piece, talking about how they've been in a full meltdown about this girl for a couple of years now, and how they had her tweet out like a little, yay, Snow White, can't wait, so excited, I love to play her. And she did it and got like millions of views, and they were like, good job, Rachel. And then she, like, minutes later followed it up with, and never forget, free Palestine.
So is she dodging lawsuits, paparazzi, or both? Her reps insist she's taking a well-earned break. Online detectives aren't buying it, citing wiped Twitter threads, a canceled press tour, and a freshly scrubbed TikTok page. Something's fishier than day-old churros. Context deepens the wound. Snow White didn't merely stumble, it face-planted. Opening Saturday earnings dribbled to $2 million, about 1/30th of projections. Analysts now predict the shortfall could balloon past $400 million once marketing costs land. Meanwhile, the Minecraft movie, yes, the blocky game adaptation pundits mocked, charged to a $300 million global debut, leaving Disney's princess in the dust.
And then they had to hire a special media consultant for her to follow her around all the time and make sure she didn't continue shitting on Snow White and the prince and young love and women who want to get married and Steven Spielberg, the executive producer of her previous movie, and white people who she claims wanted to know if she was really a Latina on her first movie.
How did we reach this meltdown? Start with Rachel's early junket snark. She called the 1937 film creepy, scoffed at Snow White's prince chasing, and teased a heroine angling for a corner office instead of true love. Longtime Disney loyalists felt she dunked on their childhoods. Then came her infamous tweet, "Free Palestine," posted minutes after she boosted Disney promo art. Gal Gadot, Israeli and the evil queen, shares the marquee, so the optics were explosive. Disney allegedly sent a senior producer to plead, "Please delete it." Rachel declined. Studio war rooms added a new slide to every presentation. What to do when the star won't stop tweeting.
Alex, what has been the reaction to Disney's latest expensive own goal?
Well, the reaction has been absolutely horrible. It is the worst box office from a Disney live action remake that they've ever done. And
crew whispers say Rachel spent more energy crafting activism posts than rehearsing lines. One grip joked that wrangling the 7 dwarfs was easier than scheduling her quotes. Disney briefly weighed delaying the release a full year, but the sunk cost math looked scarier than the backlash. A theatrical launch limped forward and sputtered quicker than a dollar store sparkler. After opening weekend, accountants audited every line item: cost overruns on CGI forest spirits, expensive reshoots to erase the prince's rescue, and emergency edits slashing Rachel's most eyebrow-raising remarks from featurettes. By Monday morning, the project's contingency fund looked like confetti.
This woman shown here is not the actual woman playing Snow White, but the woman playing Snow White is named Rachel Zegler. And she and Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen, were caught on the red carpet. This is actually from September of 2022, but it's resurfaced now because the movie's coming out, talking about what we should expect from Snow White.
You said you were bringing a modern edge to it on stage. What do you mean by that?
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
Oh my God.
Nobody
Who
wants
wants
that.
a movie about true love? What kind of woman do we want out there seeking true love, Eliana? It's the outrage.
Meanwhile, the Minecraft movie rewrote the underdog playbook. Teens in thrift store suits packed screenings, chanting pixel catchphrases at the screen. Viral clips showed security escorting kids who treated Tuesday matinees like concerts. Audiences pushed the score to 87% while critics lingered at 40%. Jack Black's bombastic voice acting outbanked a billion-dollar princess brand, humiliating the House of Mouse.
Okay,
And the cops had to escort the rowdy teenagers out. The Minecraft movie is doing something magical. It's creating a live audience reaction event where people are going to just be part of something to interact with the movie itself. The kind of thing that really creates like a kinetic movement. Turned over 157 million while earning another 144 million internationally. The Minecraft video game was introduced in 2011 and sold more than 300 million copies. It actually has a fan base, user base, people that care about it. In theory, Snow White should as well. Snow White's the movie that made Disney, the studio. They should have been more cautious and careful with their own IP. It's $1 billion IP. The Disney Snow White, faithfully adapted, would have made $1 billion.
Rachel's sponsorships evaporated. A rumored fragrance, Snow Blossom by Rachel, is indefinitely shelved. A global phone brand quietly dropped her from its influencer list. Publicists once bragging about Disney's next legend now mutter terms like radioactive. Sources say Rachel's devastated, weeping through strategy calls, stunned by the speed of her fall. 6 months back, she fielded spin-off offers and Oscar whispers. Today, advisors are split. Launch an Oprah confession tour or flee the spotlight entirely. Maybe study Shakespeare in London and re-emerge when memories fade.
Craft in the United States in one weekend made more money than Snow White has made globally after 3 weekends. That's how bad it is right now.
Disney is floundering. Departments pointing fingers like suspects in a whodunit. Marketing blames creative for axing the romance. Creative faults PR for letting Rachel run loose. Finance just waves blood-red spreadsheets. CEO Bob Iger, famed for calm crisis handling, now battles headlines questioning Disney's magic.
You can see here the Minecraft movie is 48% on Rotten Tomatoes, 87% audience score. That's kind of all that matters because these people pay the bills, these people don't. Teens in suits shouting lines, cheering like it was a concert. Check out the energy, unreal. Disney Snow White is flopping hard. Why did Minecraft win? Because they stayed true to their actual audience. If Disney had made a faithful adaptation to the original Snow White, it would have made $1 billion.
Some investors demand Disney pull the film from specific markets or shove it onto streaming early. Others want a director's cut restoring the prince, hoping purists forgive and pay again. Rumors swirl about suing whoever pitched the modern rewrites. Rachel, fairly or not, sits in the eye of the cyclone like a princess who yanked out her own castle stones. Predicting an ending is hopeless. Maybe she'll land a gritty indie, win Sundance, and thank the haters. Maybe Disney shelves fairy tale remakes for a decade. Perhaps lawyers duke it out so fiercely they create new social media clauses for every future contract.
This is it. Chicken
When we look, you can see families were more than willing to go to the box office to support something like the Minecraft movie, while Rachel Zegler's Snow White continues to plunge.
What's certain is the internet will archive every twist. TikTokers analyze airport lounge photos for clues. Designer shades equal confidence. Hoodie equals despair. Redditors track her follower graph like economists watch Bitcoin. Each alleged Dubai cafe sighting spawns thousands of stitches speculating whether she's sipping lattes or scheming. The cruel irony? Disney, the studio built on happily ever afters, stumbled modernizing its founding fairy tale. Audiences craving nostalgia got a lecture. An actress seeking empowerment became the scapegoat. A pixelated video game romp schooled Hollywood on keeping things simple and fun. So here we are. Rachel silent in the desert. Disney stuck between a dwarfless rock and a blocky, hard place. Moviegoers gleefully buying popcorn for the next twist. Hollywood adores a fairy tale ending, but it loves a spectacular fall even more, especially when the princess seems to have rigged her own trapdoor.